Hello everyone, this is Atman and his online spiritual academy, Advaita Atma Yoga Academy. Today I would like to speak about our true nature, which is consciousness, existence, bliss. Sat Chit Ananda, they call it in the traditional teachings of India. Sat means truth, what eternally absolutely exists. Consciousness, it is consciousness, it is consciousness itself, it is conscious by itself. And bliss, this principle of life, this primary principle of life, is bliss itself, what we call happiness, but is beyond the concept of happiness, because this state of bliss is, we could say, an experience of fullness, peace, freedom, beauty, beyond limits and concepts. This is our true nature. And this Sat Chit Ananda, consciousness, existence, bliss, is also what the religions call God, or Brahman, or Tao, or Allah. The ultimate principle, the primary principle of life is this formless, changeless, actionless, timeless, spaceless, self-created, self-sustained consciousness. Exists, this principle exists by itself and is conscious in itself. It is consciousness itself and is bliss, complete, whole, ever present in the here and now. It's timeless. Timeless means not beyond time. It lives in the timeless now, beyond time. There is no time. Now it is not time. Time is a concept. Anyway, there is no time. There is only this timeless now, which has two aspects: the changing aspect and the changeless aspect, which is this subtle element we call consciousness or God. Now, this is our true nature, and is always present as the background of all other experiences, whether are psychological experiences or physical experiences. Physical experiences includes our physical body. Our body is an experience. We are not the body. Our emotions are experiences. We are not the emotions. However, because of ignorance and identification with the body and the mind, we experience the body as ourselves, and the thoughts, emotions that the mind causes also as ourselves or as part of ourselves, depending to what element is. For example, everything relates to the body. I am a Greek. This body has been born in Greece. Because of identification with the body and the idea, I am Greek, so I'm Greek relates to the body. And since I think, believe in the body, this body is Greek. But this is an illusion. I'm not the body, I'm not the idea, I am Greek. But this is the state of ignorance and illusion. But our true self is beyond any concept and form. It has not physical form, neither physical nor energetic or psychological, which is also energy, kind of energy. What we are is formless, invisible. We cannot touch it, hear it, see it, smell it. Nothing can destroy this element, the ultimate element, which is not an element, but it's a way to say. what to say. We can say nothing about this element, but we have to communicate these ideas. So what we really are is beyond any concept. It's here and now in our immediate experience as a deep peace, presence, fullness, emptiness, empty fullness. It appears this concept contrary, but in this case, apply both together. And an empty fullness, without any concept, without limitations, without past and future, without now, when we relate this now to the external reality, what happens now is beyond this external happening of this very moment. It is the background of what is happening, but is unattached of what is happening. And this is our true self. In reality, it's not a self. I use this term because many teachers use this term of self, real self. But in reality, it is not a self, because it's beyond any individuality, form, any concept. So we cannot speak about self, something mysterious. But in our immediate experience, because it is what we are and never abandon us this. In reality, we as a body, mind, me entity abandon, but only in our imagination, this true self, our essential nature, because we focus totally in the external reality and we identify with the external reality, or we focus to the emotions and thoughts we experience, and our mind compulsively, automatically manifests moment by moment. So we abandon, apparently, because always we are this consciousness, and always this consciousness is the foundation, background of all other experiences. However, when we identify with some experience, we lose conscious contact or awareness of this inner silent space of consciousness. So we abandon ourselves. We live in a state, in reality, of forgetfulness. Self-forgetfulness means to forget our essential nature and identify with everything else than it, than the silent space of consciousness. Of course, the majority of people on earth ignore their essential nature, although they experience it, but they are not conscious, aware what really this essential nature is. And when they experience this silent space, they don't recognize this as their selves, as their true identity, but as some experience. I, me, the body, me, I experience a silence within me. While in reality it is, we are the silence. And this silence expresses itself through the mind, and this reflected silence, which is also consciousness, is the observer of our mind and all happenings in our psyche and all happenings in the external world. But we think that consciousness, this capacity to be aware of something, belongs to the mind and to the ego and to the body. This body, mind, me, has the capacity by itself to be aware of anything else. In reality, consciousness itself has this capacity, and this consciousness operates, we could say, through the mind, but because of ignorance and identification, I will explain this more profoundly in another presentations, we think that consciousness is something that belongs to us, the body, us, to body, to the mind and the ego. And as body, mind, ego entity, we are aware of this or that, of the silence, of the objects, of persons, of feelings, emotions, thoughts, imaginations, etc. But the real, we could say, what really observes and is conscious is consciousness itself. when operates through the mind. Neither the mind nor the conscious by themselves can observe something, an object. It is when these two functions, we could say, together, we have the capacity to observe forms, psychological forms, physical forms. So what we really are is not this physical body, is not this factor we call ego, which is a field of energy. We are not all aspects of mind, sensory mind, emotional mind, thinking mind, intellect, subconscious mind. We are not them. These are only instruments that unfortunately dysfunction because have been developed or have developed in our psyche this element we call lower ego especially, and all egoistic selfish tendencies like greed, anger, jealousy, envy, avarice, pride, likes, dislikes, gluttony. There is innumerable, okay, they are not innumerable, but there are so many tendencies. And of course, there are some very basic. I will speak about them in another presentation. So what we really are is consciousness, which is here and now, in the timeless now present, as the background of all other things. It's a way to say things. We experience forms, sensory forms, psychological forms, thoughts, emotions, desires, etc. This consciousness is our essential nature. From this consciousness, everything arises. And when this body will die, when this mind will die, we return. It's a way to say we don't return because we are here and now in the consciousness, in this state of consciousness, self-consciousness, we could say. And the point is, when the mind is extroverted and conditioned by the tendencies and habits, etc., dysfunctions, it is extroverted, and we lose contact with our true self. We don't recognize it. We don't realize that we are consciousness, and we feel and believe that we are the body, me entity. Through this process we call spiritual practice and life, we eliminate all these tendencies. We develop all higher aspects of mind and capacities, and we realize our true nature, essential nature. I don't say self, essential nature, which is always here and now, free, whole, complete, peaceful, loveful, and blissful. This is the ultimate purpose of life, to realize this and express this fully in the world. I wish you to realize your true self and get freedom from all egoic tendencies and live in peace, love, and light.